What's good, people? You are now tuned into the one and only G-C.U.E Podcast. That's G-C.U.E, not to be affiliated with the magazine or the company. We want to welcome you to our first live show. And as usual, I'm with the usual suspects, so I like to call them my Q-Law familiar. We're going to go around and get some introductions. We're going to start with Bob.
Hey, welcome everybody. It's your first time with us. Welcome. If you haven't been here before. Huh? Oh man. Yeah, I just heard some crazy stuff about it. Yeah, we got an echo. But it doesn't matter. Turn it off. What up, everybody? If it's your first time checking us out, welcome. If you listened to us before, we welcome you back. Either way, you're going to enjoy a great show. Have a good one.
The real BJ.
Please say the real.
We're going to go to Steve.
Keep your kicks clean and keep your tea green.
Microwave that, John, too.
All the way from ATL, Mr. Suave himself, Sean.
I'm probably going to offend some people today. I don't really care because we being unapologetic over here. So, what's up, people?
And we also have Eddie.
Listen, I just want to say that I love everybody before I even open my mouth because. Hey, listen, y'all just tune in and enjoy. Hey.
And as always, it's your boy Bugs coming at you by way of V8. You are now rocking with the Q. Let's go.
All right, tonight we're going to talk about happiness, but not just anybody's happiness. We're talking about happiness within a relationship. When we talk about happiness in a relationship, we always talk about the woman being happy, happy wife, happy life. But somewhere within that, I feel like the men's happiness gets lost. So the question I pose to you tonight, does a man's happiness matter in a relationship? What do you think, Eddie?
Well, pardon me. I guess I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and just go deep rooted with it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take it from where I personally believe that it begins, and I think it's. And I don't want any of you females to think that I'm blaming you for anything before I open my mouth. Again, I apologize in advance. But I think women are a lot of situations. Women are raised a certain type of way, right? And I think maybe their moms may have had some crazy, ridiculous relationship, which make them in turn want to protect their daughter and make their daughter be like, you know what I mean, like strong, independent. But they overdo it, I think, sometimes, to be completely honest, because they make themselves so strong, they can't become vulnerable to their man. They can't make that man feel like a man. Like, that happens sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying that making you feel like a man is the key to your happiness?
Okay, my personal happiness, because everyone's is different. Like, I just want to feel like me. I want to be able to be me. I don't want to. Okay, so if my purpose is to continue to keep my wife happy, right? Like, listen, man.
Yeah, because it's just going down the wrong street.
Let me hop in here real quick and just say something.
You might want to be very careful with the rest of that comment.
Right. So, part of it. Let me just hop in here and say a little thing, cuz. So, like, I tend to think like. When we think of, like PJ said in the introduction, happy wife, happy life, they consider a man to be the provider. Cool. Even old school would always say, like, he gets the big piece of chicken. Like, that doesn't necessarily make me happy. You know what I'm saying?
That makes me happy
because before you're a parent, you're still a person. So there are things that make you happy. And I think that we get so caught up in some of those traditional beliefs of men being like so strong and not really speaking their feelings that it doesn't allow them to express that I'm not happy with these things, or these are the type of things that I need to make myself happy within this relationship. Now, what we have had more or less in this current time is that we've had more dialogue with things and more understanding of things going on as far as like being stressed. Like a lot of the older generation, they would get stressed, have hypertension just because of keeping their feelings in, also what they eat on top of, like just a cluster of everything they were dealing with. We're more in the lines now of expressing ourselves and allowing ourselves to let it be known that, hey, I'm not happy here. So if this can't be done, we'll break up. Like, you know, like back in the day, parents would stay together. You see grandparents that lived together and have a separate room where everybody lived in. You know what I mean? Where they lived in separate rooms, had, you know what I mean, separate bedrooms. So it's cheaper to keep her or just be unhappy. That's dumb. So now we live in a state where, if I ain't with this, I'm off it. And I think that it's key. And we're expressing ourselves a lot more than what they used to.
That sounds good.
Sounds good, but
Yeah, it does.
But what?
I mean, it sounds good.
I was waiting for the but.
Because I think the problem becomes when guys aren't considered to not be happy until there's an issue. Like worrying about a guy's happiness in a relationship isn't worried about until you're not acting right. So it's not like when everything is good, it's someone saying, yo, you know, how are you feeling? Are you happy? Are you good? Like, what makes you happy? Like that conversation doesn't happen until you're already mad, until you're unhappy. So it's like, if you address that throughout, for instance, before I jump into that, Valentine's Day came up. There's chicks across the world that'd be like, I don't have to get him nothing. This is my day.
Yeah,
So it's
old
like,
box is not a Valentine's gift. The box I had on the 13th and the box I had on the 15th ain't a gift.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I need something. See, this is me as a man saying what I need. That box is the same. Even if it has whipped cream or chocolate syrup on it the next day and a bow, I still need something different.
February 14th box is worse than February 13th box.
It says
worse.
Like,
yeah, because you're paying for it more than what you do on a regular day.
Like, yo, you know what I did on February 13th? I was like, yo, February 14th, I gave you all this shit, and it's the same box.
Right. That's a classic point of showing how minimum they keep men's feelings at times about things. And not saying that we need this grand manifesto of emotions to expect, but like respect the fact that we do provide, we do care about some things a certain way, and that you got to acknowledge it. Like to not acknowledge it is something that's kind of trash. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying. I think that's like the big part of it though, is our feelings aren't really asked about. So it's, you assume that we're good because everything else is good. And that doesn't mean that like we're happy. It just means that we're taking care of what we need to take care of. So it's like our job is making her happy. Her job is to be happy. And it's like, that's how relationships are starting to look. That's what I'm saying. So relationships look like, as long as she's happy, the relationship is good. So it's not, no one says happy husband, what? There's nothing after happy husband. I mean,
that sounds stupid as shit, right?
Spouse happy house.
Make some shit rhyme. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like, as long as she's happy, your relationship should be good. And that's unrealistic. So this is why a lot of guys end up finding happiness somewhere else, because you're not happy. And then it's like, it's not talked about until shit blows up.
But
don't you're putting a lot on the other person in the relationship making you happy.
No.
Which person?
I'm saying you're not checked on, not shot.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to be responsible for your own
adult ass opinion. Here we go.
You have to be responsible for your own happiness before you can blame someone else for you being unhappy.
Yeah, but there's also the part of a relationship is compromise and understanding the person. That's the difference between being in a relationship and just knowing somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because being in a relationship, you're under the impression that you're committed to each other. So then you have to understand your weaknesses, your faults, and have for them to coincide with each other. What up?
You said under the impression?
If you're going somewhere else looking for happiness, like that means like you ain't got enough happiness inside yourself. You need to leave other people alone. Like,
but what if it makes you happy to make other people happy, right? And then you throw into that, you just expect a little bit of appreciation to yourself.
Whatever
right?
sources of happiness you look for, like, okay, like as long as you can be happy by yourself. Like if you can't be and you're like, yo, this person right here is supposed to make me happy, you setting yourself up for a fucking losing situation.
But the commitment of a relationship, you have to have an expectation, right? Because at some point in a relationship, I'm not saying happiness has to be the ultimate, you know what I mean, reason for being in a relationship. But if you with somebody, you do have some kind of expectation in your commitment, right?
Yeah,
But I think that's the thing, because you can be happy individually and not be happy in your relationship. So I can be happy as hell and not be happy in a relationship. So it's not saying that like I'm not happy, like I'm not making myself happy. I can be happy as fuck. This relationship is horrible. So it's like something about the relationship isn't working, which is bringing my happiness down. I got
the communication,
right? So now I got to fix
understanding of who I am and what it is. Like, you know what I mean? And that's
exactly.
And like I said, it's not because you can, like, you know, like people. I remember like PJ telling us before, like with marriage or something. He mentioned like it's like being in a relationship where you have ups and downs. Like, you know what I mean? You just go through it. Like sometimes, you know what I mean? Like it's going to be times where one person's happier than another, and vice versa. But if the communication's there, it's going to stay consistent, and you're going to stay together and figure it out, depending on what you value in the relationship. If you don't value that with that person, or it's just overbearing, you're not going to want to be bothered. But men seem to always bear a lot of the brunt of it, and that's even with society. So like even with us speaking out against this, like you said, people can hear this from the beginning and be like, oh, they're going to hate women. Like, nah, we just wanted to get some acknowledgement for the men, because we're men and we do this, and we understand that there's also layers that men don't get, you know what I mean? They don't get appreciated for what they do, or acknowledged, or even asked about some of the things they do at times. And we're not saying all, it's just in some circumstances.
You know, but at the same time, I feel like that's the same thing that women say, right? Because they expect you to kind of read their mind, know what it is that they want, what it is that makes them unhappy. And I feel like you're doing the same thing, because that's one of the things that I can't do. Like I suck at it. I suck at the being intuitive and realizing whatever it is going wrong or needs to be changed. Because I think people's happiness, what makes you happy, constantly changes throughout your relationship. It's not going to be the same. You know what I mean? And if you're not changing along with that, and if it's not communicated, it's hard to just pick up on those vibes. So you can't just expect somebody to just automatically say, oh, I should be appreciating him, if you haven't expressed that. You know what I mean? People often take, especially the longer the relationship is, you start to take things for granted. You know what I mean? You take each other for granted.
So I think that becomes like the argument point, because you walk into a relationship knowing that she has to be happy. So it's like, does she walk into a relationship knowing that he has to be happy? I think that's where it comes in that thing. It's I don't think, again, like a man's happiness is focused on with the relationship. Like we have to announce our happiness. So it's like, if you're announcing it, what's the point?
I mean, it kind of it boils down to the pursuit aspect. Like from the beginning, from day one, like you've been making whatever, however the courting was, like what it was done is the man attempting at making this situation nice for the woman. Like basically take it down to the animal kingdom, however you want, is I'm doing this for you. I am trying to, I'm attracted to you. I am trying to let you, I want this attraction to be reciprocated and everything else. But all the steps that you're taking are for her. So then it's like, okay, then you got the relationship, and it's like, you got to continue that. Where if that should never happen, where any part of from, I met her at the bar and I was like, yo, I'm broke as fuck, but I got a plan. What up? You know, in the great words of Eddie.
What up with your bull?
Yeah, exactly.
What up with your bull?
From that day until whatever, when y'all was like, yo, we are official. That whole shit, there's never been a time where it's been like, where it's been focused on the man.
So you're saying that from the beginning, since there's always a chase, like the man has to pursue the female, it has to continue even through the relationship, whether you're married or whatever the situation may be?
Not that it has
to. That's what it seems that way. No, it seems that way. Then.
Right. I'm not saying that it has to, but I'm saying that's how it can be, is easily misconstrued, because it's always been about me trying to impress her. So that involves with me making her happy. It never had anything to do with her doing anything but looking fucking good or smelling good or whatever it was. And
so what if you decide that you don't want to do that no more? Is she wrong for like expecting
don't
it
smell good?
continuously.
If she don't smell good no more?
No, that's not what I mean.
Okay,
No.
I'll be quiet. My bad.
No, I'm saying, so if you decide, yo, I don't want to chase no more, like I'm done with this concept. I've been chasing for 20 fucking years, just to throw a number out there, right? But it's time for her to show me a little bit of a chaser, want me. Like, it's all about being wanted. Everybody wants to be everybody wants to be wanted, yo.
After 20 years?
Okay, maybe 20 was a bit hard. Let me say 5 to 10. But people deal with shit for a long ass time in a relationship. Think about the guy who has a kid on the female's time or whatever situation. They sit together for a long ass time. Like, anything can happen, man. Like, yo, I can listen. People accept things based off of what they experience in life. So here's my thing. Like,
word it right.
I'm trying to, man, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. And I apologize thus far if I said anything to offend anybody. I just want to put that out there. I'm kind of in my Eddie. I'm in my Eddie feelings.
We'll be apologizing all night, cuz.
Nah, just listen, man. All I'm saying is sometimes a guy, no matter what the mistake that he made, that's not what I'm trying to say either. Let me out here. Where was I going with this, man? I'm trying to. We're talking about the chase. We're talking about the constant chase. My bad. Fell off for a second. So all I'm saying is sometimes a guy might just want to just feel that same feeling that she feels when he's chasing her. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to me saying everybody wants to feel wanted. Like, nobody wants to just, like, who really just wants to be, I don't know, you're with a person and they just act like you're not even interested and you're supposed to just constantly show interest. Does that really make sense?
I think that's different though, because like the desire of being in a relationship and being happy in a relationship are very different. So you can have the want and have the acknowledgement of you being there, being appreciated, but it's like, are you happy being there? And is your happiness being targeted? So it's like, say you're married, for the married people in here, like you're married. Does your wife bring you home like just because gifts? Like that kind of stuff, like the stuff that guys are rewarded and like put on pedestals for doing. Like, do you get the same thing? Like, is it something where it's just like, I just want to do this for you just because I want to make sure that you're good, to make sure that you're happy. Go get a massage. I already set everything up for you. Today's the day for you. Just go chill.
And that
like,
depends
how often does
on
that happen?
a part of that it depends on. First, it's like PJ was saying, like, as far as relationships, like you said, there's an up and down part, and there's a thing where things get stagnant, you take people for granted. So part of being in a relationship is being able to know your partner's shift a little bit. Like, if you see that they're in a rut where they're like you said, where you're happy, then there's a time where the vibe's a little off. That's where you need to step it up and acknowledge that, hey, this is that. Like, you don't necessarily sometimes even need a gift. It's just the acknowledgement that can pick their spirits back up, which is more essential to keeping the relationship where it needs to be. And for guys, like you said, like, we're black men, 6 black men. We step out into this world, it's a little different when we step out the door from the beginning. You know what I mean? At the beginning of the day. So by the time we get home, there's a lot of battle that we've taken on. So just some of the acknowledgement sometimes can go a longer way. And it doesn't necessarily, I don't need no massage. Maybe it just might be those wings that be hitting for sometimes, that, man, like, I had a long day and those wings is right. Like, it's just the simple things at times that you just need to be addressed to just put my spirits back in a different direction. I don't need no just because robe. I don't need to, you know what I mean? Anything else like that.
You want just because wings.
Yeah.
Or just because buns.
I'll take it just because trip to Houston for one of them Deshaun Watson massages.
I don't need none of them. Oh man, Deshaun Watson, don't do that.
Let me chime in right quick though. Let me say this. From the time I agree with Steve, because from the time you go back to the beginning of a relationship, once you found that person or your point of interest, whether it was lust, infatuation, whatever it was that got you to that point, once you decided to pursue, you made it to the business to put your happiness on the back burner. From the restaurants that you hold on. I'm not talking about full happiness. What I'm saying is pleasing her became the goal. What restaurant we go to? What do you like? What's your favorite color? What's this? You're learning her. But my question is, do you give her time to do the same to you? Is that opportunity?
I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair because but I don't think it might be true, but it's not fair. It's like if I got to take that time out to learn you, you should be learning me at the same time. So it's like it should be equal. You should be trying to figure out the same shit about me that I'm trying to figure out about you. I understand the courting process, and it's like you have to do these things to quote unquote build your nest for her to come to be in your nest. But it's like at some point you should be figuring out these things about me. Like you should know my favorite whatever. If I order the same thing when I go out to eat all the time, you shouldn't have to call me and say, what do you want from this restaurant? I order the same shit every time I'm here. Like I want the same thing I always get. So it's a matter of it's being present in a relationship. And I think that part is where it gets missed because you get comfortable receiving. And then when it's time to give, it's like you don't really know what this person likes or what this person is happy about. Because as long as we come in the house smiling, we're good. As long as the relationship is good, we're good. If we stop smiling, then it's like, oh, what's wrong with you?
But there's some of that's on that's your responsibility to, like, if you notice she's not picking up on these things, but you continue to pursue, then it's on you. Like that's why
what I was getting to.
Since the beginning, I always said, like, yes, it's important, but it's your happiness is your responsibility. You choose to settle for a chick who doesn't know you, doesn't know what you eat because her wagon's soft. That's on you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you like them short, that pink thing she got on more than the fact that she don't know what the hell wing sauce you like.
Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say if you get about 80, 90% of females, they pay more attention after you, quote unquote, signified and made it plain that you're in a relationship. The whole courting phase is you. Supply and demand to her. That's how it's been since the beginning of time. Now, what I do want to say, and I'm not just going to say it's us as black men, but I'm going to say men in general. I think sometimes even when you're in a relationship, no matter how long you've been in a relationship, some of us don't speak on our feelings. You'll be unhappy, but don't speak on our feelings just for the sake of not being vulnerable or looking weak to our mate or partner. And I think that causes problems because if you tend to hold things in, eventually it's going to be an outlet somewhere, whether it's going to be an outlet through communication and dialogue with your partner, or whether it's going to be communication with somebody outside your house, which leads to other things. But that's what I was saying
as far as that. That's a lot of that's traditional idea belief of men not showing their emotions because of, you know what I mean? Like, it's like Eddie mentioned at one time, like a long time ago on one of the shows where he mentioned like somebody in his life, won't say names, you know, had said like, you know, men don't do this, no, men don't do that. So it's like I said, but what we've done and what we have done more recently has evolved with a lot of that thinking. And I think we're doing a lot better than what we have, but it still needs to be noticed that men, though they're providers in principle and what you're supposed to be, they still have feelings about things that need to be addressed just to make sure they're good, to keep functioning. You know what I mean? And that's where I think we're losing a lot of sight with like happy wife, happy life, cheaper to keep it. Like it's everything based on but like our mental health is key. And that's what this is really about, just maintaining your man's mental health and what he needs during these times.
And now go as far as to even say an even balance in your relationship. Because I'm just speaking on, you know, personal experience. I think it was last week or week before last. I came home. My queen was like, "You tired?" I said, "Nah." She said, "Okay." She said, "Get dressed." She said, "I'm going to take you out tonight. We're going somewhere." She didn't tell me where. She just said she was taking me somewhere. You know what I mean? We went out to dinner, other spot, had a good time. But I appreciate it. You know what I mean? That let me know that she appreciated it. It was reciprocated. It's
that's
always
initiative.
Reciprocated when it's meant. Exactly. I didn't ask for it. I didn't plead for it. It was given. And a lot of times it's not given to us as men, but men at the same time. Women won't know it's a problem if you don't let her know. They're not mind readers, just like we're not.
But I think that's the issue. It's like it shouldn't have to get to a point where I'm making you happy when I feel like you're not happy. It's consistently saying I'm going to do these things because I know these things make you happy. So just initiative off the bat, and it's just because I feel like doing this for you. I want to make sure that like we're doing these things together. It shouldn't be like, oh, he looks like he's in a rut. Let me go fix it. Like it's a matter of being present in the relationship the entire time through. So just saying like, I'm gonna take you out to dinner randomly. I could be happy and smiling and cool and whatever. It's just the fact that you want to do something that you think is going to make me happy. Like before it becomes an issue, before I'm walking around looking pissed off and yelling for no damn reason, I'm just going to do this because this is what I want to do for you.
But what if that's not? What if that thing that you did isn't what's is going to make you happy? Or what?
And that's what I said. It's a matter of learning that person in that same courting process where the guy is trying to learn the woman.
Yeah, but I'm talking. I'm not even in the courting process. I'm talking about after your relationship. Like I said before, the longer the relationship is, things change. You know what I mean? And what makes you happy would have made you happy 5 years ago may not make you happy now. So you may pull out your old bag of tricks and be like, "Oh, I'll bring you home."
But can I ask a question, cuz? Is it really that complicated? Because men aren't that complicated. Like we're a little bit more simpler, in my opinion.
I'm not that's not true.
Dudes are complicated.
That's not true.
So it's just me.
You're complicated too, guys. You just
I'm
don't
not
know
complimented, because my wife doesn't have to do a lot to keep me happy, man. Like
that's it. But it's like
there's
you
not
can't.
A lot.
It's at say 5-10 years into a relationship, bringing you home chicken fingers and French fries from Applebee's, that probably ain't going to do it no more.
Like, it's not even that. It's just a matter. If you stay pretty in tune with your spouse, like what PJ was saying, like he's saying that something that somebody did 5 years later is different than what you will do now. But if you're semi in tune with them still, you're still going to be able to pick up on some things that adjust, as opposed to if you just the relationship just completely is dissolving outside of the lust. Like once the lust is over, like you said, the newness, like what Steve and them were saying, like once you court and it's only about lust and you only liking, like you said, the wagon and all those things like that,
the thrillers,
all right, because it's gonna run its course. But if you like other things about the person and you got to know different types of things, then you can also evolve and develop those type of things. And then we've all been there because we've all broke up before. We've all been in relationships before y'all got married. Y'all been in relationships that succeeded and failed. So you'll know why, and you know what it was for. Like if it was for lust or if it was, you know what I mean? Like, oh man, she looked good, but that bitch dumb as hell. So I didn't mean to say that, but that's what it is.
Yeah, no, you did.
Yeah,
you did.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like,
you did. You meant it. It rolled off the tongue too easy. You meant it.
But listen, I just don't.
And they done that the same thing too. Like women been with dudes just for certain reasons, and then after a while, when you can't take it, you kick them to the curb. You don't endure something that, you know what I mean? Like a relationship that's based on but if it's solely on like lust or material things, it's your fault for being in a relationship. Like Steve was saying with the happiness. Now, if it's something that your partner is somebody that you can see yourself long term with, that's different. That's where you want to keep it. But if it's just about the bread or the good time or something nasty, then it is what it is. I think
it's a little bit more simpler because, like, I just feel like I understand that PJ's saying that things at some point things change, whatever. But that's not always the case either. You know what I'm saying? Like, because people are into what you like, right? Your person knew what made you happy from day one to day whatever. Like, it's not going to change that much. Like I know what made my wife happy when we first met kind of still makes her happy. Now she's still that same person. So, you know, if I continue to do those things, I know she's going to be happy. You know what I mean? Like, it really is that simple. I don't think that it really takes that much thought. Like, yeah, even if it is, say you like material things. If your wife said, yo, cuz I like polo shirts, so just give me polo shirts all the time. It's a material thing.
Yo, cuz I like.
That wasn't a good lady voice, but I'm just saying, like, your person knows. Your person knows what makes you happy, man. Like, just like you know what makes your
not
partner
necessarily,
happy.
cuz, but that's the whole premise of this. Like, the fact is, there wouldn't be a divorce rate and people separate and cheating at an all-time. Well, cheating's always been around because prostitution is the biggest fucking living profession ever. So people just like having sex, but we'll classify it as different things. And I know I'm just saying something, but that's what it is. The thing is, Eddie, is that there are things that are different because for me personally, I'm a complicated person. So my person She knows me. But there are levels to me where I'm not the same that I was when I started dealing when I was 20 years old with no kids. The things that make me happy as a 35-year-old man with one kid. Now I'm a 42-year-old man with 3 kids.
Ooh.
So
Damn.
right.
Old as hell, man.
Yeah.
42. Damn.
But with that being said,
Watch it.
but
Cheers to the
with my-
30s.
But with my evolution as I grew with different things, my relationship ain't gonna be the same. I would hope it wouldn't be though. You know what I mean? Because why would I strive to just be in the same place as I was as a wild 20-year-old?
I'm not saying the relationship's the same. I'm talking about what makes you happy tends to go along the same lines.
It doesn't.
How much does it really change though? How much does it is it a draft? Like I'm sorry. Maybe, all right, so I think it's just different with everybody then because what I like in my 20s doesn't. I mean, kind of still makes me happy now.
You know how to address that though? How to address Eddie? Eddie, just keep on living. You'll see it. Just keep on living.
Ooh.
That's words from your wise old uncle.
Wise old
Uncle Bud.
Okay,
keep on living.
So here's the point. You said as long as you get in the cheeks to make you happy.
Is that what I said?
Right? Along the lines. Along the lines is what you said. For the most part, that's kind of what you said.
That's one of the things. Pretty simple, man.
So,
you know what I mean?
as we had a conversation in a previous episode, what happens?
Hold on, wait. Her cheeks are what make me happy.
I didn't
put that out there.
I didn't. That's what I'm talking about.
Cleared that up real quick.
Ain't no editing on a live.
No, it ain't.
It's like at a certain point, that's not enough anymore. So at a certain point, it's like cool, but those are the same cheeks from 15 years ago. So how long?
She might have spiced it up a little bit.
Man, stop lying.
Cheeks.
13 years later, the knees ain't even been the same. Shut up. I had to say that. Like, you got stop lying to yourself, nigga. Like,
you hit 48, got 2 positions.
Doggy style missionary.
What? Can we keep this rated? All
right, my bad. All right.
Yo, stop, cuz PJ's
blame it on us.
Somebody just left.
That's like, what? What kind of nonsense is this? What did I just tune into? Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh my god. Woo.
But it's a matter of, I think it's honestly just being in tune. I think being in tune throughout is important. And again, like Bub said, it goes to the communication. I think Book said the same thing. It goes to communication.
Absolutely.
So you have to continue evolving in the communication aspect of the relationship because that's typically where the breakdown happens. Right. And it happens a lot because while we're checking, we're not being checked on until, again, shit's wrong. And then now it's wrong and you're trying to fix it instead of it already being addressed before it gets to the wrong part. And like PJ said, you have to say, this is how you're feeling beforehand. You have to be vocal about your feelings. But I don't think a lot of men know that they're not happy in relationships until it's too late in the relationship.
Are we talking?
I'm letting you think about it, but you can process that for a little bit.
Happiness in the relationship versus just being happy, period.
No, not just being happy, period. In the relationship. Not
in the relationship, yeah.
That's why they're walking around.
Stop being a grown-up, cuz.
Nah, I'm with him on this one, yo.
No, that's why I was saying when Steve was saying if you can't make yourself happy, that's why I thought, like, why are you asking that question? We're talking about happiness in your relationship. You were actually explaining it too, Shaw. You were saying, which you probably get to say, it's not about. Go ahead.
It's not about you personally being happy with yourself. It's the relationship happiness. Right. So again, I can be happy as hell in my car, coming home from work, driving up to the house, and the moment I step through the door, I'm not happy anymore. And it's not me I was fine before I got home. So it's like the relationship aspect is where the unhappiness comes in at.
You're
So it's
just
like,
not
how do
happy,
you
yeah.
understand? So how do you make sure that you're being checked on as a guy without always saying, yo, make sure I'm happy? Because women don't have to say that.
You have to let them know.
But yeah, I'm gonna say if you're expecting somebody to check on you, then you're not doing the one thing that you're talking about, which is
But
communication.
women don't have to be checked on. Like, you make sure that she's
That's not
happy
true.
regardless.
Nah, that's
You
not true.
She has to tell you to make sure I'm happy.
No, but sometimes. Oh, go ahead, PJ.
Yeah, I like I said before, I'm not always the most intuitive when it comes to that, because sometimes I get in a routine, you know what I mean, and I think, all right, everything is what it is, and like I said, people change, things change, and then if you don't pick up on those cues and they're not communicated to you, you can completely miss it. So it's not always that you're always checking in saying, are you okay? Is this okay? Is this okay? No, and sometimes people don't even realize it. You don't even realize exactly what it is that you're feeling. You know what I mean? So it may take a while before all of that comes to light.
That's kind of what I said. I just didn't say it as eloquently as you did.
But you know what?
said
I want to
nothing
put an
close.
example.
I
I
said-
want to put an example out.
Putting in the same neighborhood.
I want to put an example
right
out
around
there,
the
though.
corner.
Prime example.
I was right
Prime
around the corner. It's just
example.
like the address is different. He on odds, I'm on evens. It's the same street. We good.
I want to put a little example out there, though. Like, my queen, she loved macaroons. So in the beginning, I used to get macaroons from this special
Macaroons. They're
baker.
not macaroons. That's a nut.
Macaroons.
Macaroons.
Listen,
Do it again, Steve.
Macaroons.
There you go.
My
So
bad.
anyway.
Continue.
so anyway.
She likes macarons.
Now, if I buy them once every now and then, it still has that same genuine feeling because it's unexpected. You see what I mean? But if I
Right.
started buying these macaroons every week, it becomes
Macarons.
redundant. It loses interest. It doesn't hold that same place of surprise, the same place of specialness that it holds when you do it every now and then. That's why I said things can become complacent. You have to keep things switching up because men and women evolve. It is what it is.
I think that's fair.
Man, I don't know, because if I get fried chicken every day, I'm gonna appreciate it. I ain't gonna be like, oh, but you gave me fried chicken 3 days in a row. And like, I think that macaron is similar to some real good fried chicken. Or am I just wrong there?
I don't know because I don't eat.
What I
macarons.
think is that Boogs must have got in trouble this week. He been shouting out his queen a whole bunch on this episode, making it be known so he can get out of trouble. So when he get off this
Let's
live
be
episode,
clear.
she will sit
Let's
there
be
and make sure to
clear.
give him a hug and make sure. I appreciate that. I'm gonna pick up on that tag. I'm gonna use that shit. I love that shit, bro.
Maybe I got these macarons.
He
I'm
said,
gonna start
he said
buying
she took-
macarons.
he said she took me out. I buy her macarons. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. We gonna have luck tonight, man. Great job, Books. He's so happy he froze.
There you go.
There you go.
I got macarons. This is fucking
You out the doghouse tonight, though, family. You out the doghouse tonight. Whatever you
got-
did, fam, you out tonight.
You got your
You
back,
right.
bro.
You just gonna start seeing macarons popping up at your door.
Oh man.
Yo, but
What's your address? I'm about to send y'all some.
to bring it back, what happens if what makes you happy causes a conflict in your relationship?
Like what though?
Let's say
Strip
let's
clubs.
say- nah,
Massages. From Instagram
yeah,
models.
nah, I wouldn't go that far, but let's
Only
say,
fans account.
no, but let's say
What? Y'all so old, yo.
Bring the OnlyFans first of all on there massage. No, don't do it.
nah, I'm thinking more like maybe
Oh
whether
my
it's an
goodness.
activity that you do, or let's say you like to go fishing and it takes a lot of your time, or things like that, and it causes a conflict with
The conflict
being
of what?
able
Being
to-
happy?
But doesn't that
Well,
go
no,
back
with-
to what
with-
we were
No,
talking
your
about?
time.
We were talking
Yeah,
about
with your
balance
time,
in the
which is something that can make your partner happy. You know what I mean? So what if you're doing this, them allowing you or giving you the opportunity to
Nah,
enjoy
because the show ain't about them. It's about us.
no, nah.
That's a
Yup.
different show. We don't care about their time right now. We talking about
Send him
us and our
back.
time.
Send him back, Sean. Send him back.
What makes me happy is going fishing. I'm going fishing. I'm
Right,
happy
then
now.
So y'all
you're
missed
being
that, right?
selfish.
So
Yeah,
I
I'm
said
being
that-
selfish.
so no, what happened is we saw that Boogs actually made his wife feel better. So PJ was on his thing and making his wife feel better. That's why he brought that up just now.
That's
That's
why
what it
Y'all
was.
hard.
No,
Y'all
that's
hard.
why
I don't
PJ
even
don't go
believe that.
fishing.
Wait,
Nah, that's
Yeah.
why PJ don't go fishing. We now y'all know if y'all go fishing, PJ not gone. Like, it's not happening. It's cool. We
But
get
you
it.
know what? Honestly, if you go fishing, like that's a hobby. What's wrong with inviting her at least one time
Right.
a month? Or once
I don't
every
really
day?
touch that worm.
It's balance. You touch the worm, but let her reel the hook out. It's ways to get around it. It's ways to include her in what you do, just like it's ways to be included in things she like to do.
But to PJ's point, like if you like to do something like that and then she's not comfortable with something that brings you peace, it has to be a compromise, and that's where the
balance.
communication comes in. And you have to understand and be respectful of that in your relationship too, to be like, hey, like I like to go fishing. It brings me peace just to be out there on the water, but you don't like it because of, because usually dudes will do that. Hey, come on with me. And, like we take women to sporting events, all different types of different things, so you do try to
They
compromise
take
and
us
be
to
different.
Lamar's class.
And that's
No.
how Bub ended up at that's how Bub and PJ ended up at that Beyonce concert.
Yo.
Fell back, cuz.
Yo.
She took you to see Beyonce to make you happy.
That was all about happiness right there.
She took you to make you happy to see Beyonce
Listen.
concert.
Nah,
I don't know what-
they both
Yo, don't throw
founding
my
members
name
of the
in nothing
Hive.
like that. PJ was at a Beyonce concert with
Hive
his wife.
T-shirts.
That got nothing to do with me.
Nah, man. They got their Beehive
funny as
certificates
hell, yeah.
stamped, certified, hanging up in a plaque.
But now I'm gonna tell you one thing I do though that I just like. You sit through it like we got a compromised TV. That's exactly what I call it. I've been calling it that for years. Compromised TV is like I like action movies, like your Transporter, your Expendable, stuff like that. So if she'll sit through that with me, and she's watching something, I want you to watch this with me. I want you to see this with me. Man, it's been a lot of times I had to sit there, and I'm talking about back in the day, even do America's Next Top Model or Project Runway or something like that. There's ways to find balance if you try it. That's all I'm saying. I'm just putting that out.
Nah, there's a way to find balance. I mean, if you got a compromised TV, you just turn to Lifetime. Any dude gets stuck on one of them movies in a heartbeat. Like you get stuck in the, he kidnapped my daughter and he's now married to me and my daughter's under the basement, under the sink and some other bullshit. You'd be stuck in a Lifetime movie forever.
Yeah,
But it's just,
unfortunately.
I'm saying I get the compromise part.
All bounce.
So I think the question that I fall on at that point is if you get to a point and you're in a unhappy relationship for whatever reason, do you just acknowledge that you're in an unhappy relationship, or do you try to fix the unhappy relationship? Like, what's the process after that? And I'm asking that blindly, and I'm not going to answer.
Yo, people go to counseling. So
Yeah.
it's not uncommon that people have unhappy times in a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
But if you get to the point of counseling, is it too late?
Nah.
Like, how long have you been unhappy to get to counseling?
No, it's not too late because
if y'all both agreed to go to counseling, it's definitely not too late. Like,
because y'all care enough to go to counseling.
Right.
yeah.
But should you? But okay, I'm playing devil's advocate right now. I'm not talking about self at all. So if you're going to counseling, should you be going to counseling before a relationship becomes a problem, just to make sure that you're on the same accord?
That's not a bad idea.
it's not.
It's not.
But everybody
but-
doesn't do it, or it may not feel like it's necessary. But
But
Right,
the fact that
right.
you're willing to salvage it by taking that step,
Yeah.
that right there, that's huge. Because that's huge.
But see, that's usually in the aspect of sometimes you get one partner that's willing to go, then you get one partner that's not.
So should you be willing to be in a relationship with somebody that's not willing to go to counseling? I'm having fun with
To
this.
save your
Nah, she already like that.
No.
That person already was like, "This ain't worth fixing." So you just need to accept it. If you
Before
the
there's
person,
something to fix.
huh?
But they're
So
not
before there's
willing
something to
do
fix, they're not willing to
everything
even do the
it
work.
takes.
No. I mean, if it's to the point where it's like, "Yo, we should go to therapy to fix this," and the other person is like, "Nah, no, we shouldn't."
Now I'm just saying proactive counseling, just to like get there and being like, so how are y'all feeling?
Oh, well, like, I mean, like, I'm pro counseling. I think everybody needs an unbiased, neutral person to talk to about their shit. So, I mean, there's financial barriers and time barriers that don't allow a lot of people to get therapy. But like, I'm all for that shit.
PJ.
I agree. I think
Strike one for
You
the
stumped him,
grown-ups.
cuz. You stumped him, cuz. You
you
stumped him, cuz. You don't even know what to say.
Yeah,
One for
you
the
thought
whole
you was the
team.
only ad dog. Nope.
Steve came through.
I
You got to validate him. Go ahead, and tell me what the answer now. Steve's validated. Go ahead.
Right,
I agree with him. I agree with him.
I agree with Steve.
I can't.
Good job, Steve.
I'm not speaking from experience because I've never, aside from premarital counseling, I can't say that I just was like, all right, let's do counseling because everything is great. You know what I mean? But it sounds like a great thing to do.
Yep.
So I guess our time is coming up for this, right? Did y'all see that we got a lot of people on our live checking us out?
I did peep it. I didn't get a chance to say nothing to nobody yet, but I was
Like
just scrolling through.
That's love. Like, you know,
That is
hopefully-
love.
We definitely appreciate that. Definitely
Sure.
appreciate
I
that.
saw at least 15 people comment that they saw Bub at the Beyonce concert.
I peeped
Facts.
that too. Mo said she got
Facts.
pictures.
It was
Facts.
First of all,
man.
First of all,
Shout out to Mo.
TMZ.com.
Facts.
First of all, if my
Mo,
sister doesn't have
post it on the page. Post it on the group
Please
page,
do.
Mo.
Do it now. Do it now, Mo.
if my sister doesn't have a picture with me, her, and Beyonce, that's my sister. She's been around me for my whole life, so that doesn't her whole life. You know what I mean? I'm her older brother. PJ said it because he was really there performing in her band. He was up there dancing, playing saxophone.
He's a background dancer.
He was not. He was a background.
It's a background dancer.
Like he was up there playing that Kenny G flute. You know, and playing live. Everybody knows. Like one thing about if y'all don't know, get to know. Pierre made our theme song. When you listen to our episodes, the music that's in the background are all Pierre original songs. So he also did a brief stint with Solange as well as Beyonce, where he performed.
And
you know what I mean? So that's the truth. So that's why he was there.
And he dressed up like Little Mama and ran on stage with the Jay-Z and Alicia Keys concert.
That was
So
me.
We know it was you, cuz.
we know it was you.
That's an insult,
Now-
man.
Oh, it's an
Nah,
insult to
but-
Beyonce? That's
Nah,
deep.
insult to me saying I was Little Mama.
Nah, but he do got them fire tunes though. Them like definitely.
We not about to promote PJ ass.
I was gonna thank you too. I was gonna thank you too. You ain't let me go off of my whole little situation.
Nah, you
was
start with
included.
PJ, cuz you know I get jealous and shit.
Because we was talking about it. You know what I mean? Listen, how many times am I gonna give PJ props? You know what I'm saying? PJ.
We know PJ's always been that dude. So like there's nothing but love there.
Yeah, we just appreciate everybody taking the time to listen to 6 friends who've been friends since before 96, but established 96. And we got a lot to say. And we just hope y'all continue to come in and listen to us. We got some things for you.
So Danielle said, happy wife, happy life is true. Because if you're an unhappy partner, a true partner in life wouldn't be happy.
Right. But
and then he also said, if your goal isn't to grow together, it's pointless. Very good point.
Nah, but I'm telling you, you know, I was talking to this old dude and he was joking about his wife, and I was like, yeah, happy wife, happy life. I get it. And she said, no, it's happy spouse, happy house. So
see, I like that.
So that
regardless of who it is,
definitely. I wish.
So obviously he was happy and shit. And she
but
was
I don't
happy
even know if he's still
it.
alive. I mean, they was old. Like
yeah, but she ain't say happy husband.
She didn't say happy husband.
She
Happy husband.
couldn't find nothing to rhyme with it.
Happy.
Nah, see, happy husband or find his cousin. Like, see,
Her cousin.
Yo.
And if you haven't checked out our guide code episode, go watch that. Definitely don't hop on nobody's cousin.
Nah, not the cousins though. That's
negative.
It's a violation. Well, let's close this out, cuz.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I just want to let everybody know I'm going to take this point to ponder. I think a lot of people don't actually take time to find out how their partner perceives love. There's different ways to perceive it. Some people are happy getting gifts. Some people are just happy having your time. Some people are happy going places. It's our obligation to find out how our partner desires and wants to receive love. And man, if you feel you got situations going on, feel free to speak up. This is the Q La Familia. We about to be signing off. As always, y'all take care, be safe, be blessed, but most of all, be you. Q out.